Barak, Yahweh, Alam, Shalom, righteous family. Welcome back to True Talk. Today we're going to talk about time. Not my time, not your time, not our time, but the Most High time. And what do He consider an institute, a day? And when do a day start and when do a day end? Because, there's been talk amongst the truth. Some people believe that it began when the sun rises. Some people begin when the day, a day begin when the sun sets. Everybody got their opinion, but what does the Most High says? What does the Scripture says? And we got to make this make sense. So, not want to be too long on the intro and want to get straight to it. Let's do it. Now, what's the best place to start? But in the beginning, where the Most High created everything to get this understanding. Now, before I go any further, I want to say that why is it important to know when the day start and when the day end, and to be on the Most High time? That alone to be on the Most High time. But when you are in tune with the Most High in the way He set things up, there's a deeper connection. It's something that really can't be explained. It's like trying to explain love and pain. We got words for it, but it's something that you really got to experience for yourself. To be in tune with the earth and the Most High timing and how things really work. It just separates you different from everybody else. And that's what we are called to be holy, which means separated. But let's start off. Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, Yah created the heavens and the earth. 2. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the waters. 3. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. 4. And God saw the light, that it was good. And Yah divided the light from the darkness. 5. And Yah called the light day, and the darkness he called night. In the evening and the morning were the first day. 6. And Yah said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. 7. And Yah made the firmament, and divided the waters which was under the firmament from the water which was above the firmament. And it was so. 8. And Yah called the firmament heaven. In the evening and the morning were the second day. Now, I don't know if y'all picking up what's being put down, but if you can see that the Most High is creating, and He creating by just speaking, He's saying, let it be, and it will be. That tells you disobedient is how everything exists. You know, through obedience, it is. That's how powerful obedience is, and to who you obey. And we all should obey our Heavenly Father. When you obey Him, what He can create with you, through you, whatever, whatever, and however, there's no limit. As is written, with Him all things are possible. But nevertheless, He created light, not the sun, but light. He said, "Let there be light," and there was light. It obeyed Him. And after He created the light and separated from the darkness, He said it was evening, and morning were the first day. So he's telling you what was a day. A day started at evening and rounded all the way up until morning or sunlight. And then he started creating, and he said that was morning. And then he created the firmament. My bad. He created the firmament and divided the water from the water. And then he said, "Oh yeah," and it was evening in the morning. Was the second day. This was the second day. So he's saying that the day, the first day started at evening. The second day started at evening, so forth and so forth. It started at evening and go all the way into the morning. So how do we make sense of this? And it's not that it don't make sense. It's just our whole life we've been taught the total opposite. Now, if you can see this map down here at night at 12 a.m., we've been told that's when the day begins. That's when a new day starts. In the middle of the night at 12, there's a new day. Who came up with that? Did the Most High say that? And they also tell us that we know there's 24 hours in a whole day. When we talk about a whole day, we talk about the day and including the night. Because a lot of times people get confused because there are 12 hours in a day, meaning as the Most I call the day night. I mean, call the light day. So the Most I call the light day, then in the day when the light, when the sun is shining, there's so many hours in the daytime of that day and the nighttime of that day. And the whole day is 24 hours. Now, this chart is based on the season of summer. Because, during winter and everything, there's different, the days are, the nights are longer and the days are shorter during the bottom part of, winter and fall. But this is during spring and summer. A day consists about 12 hours. A night consists of about 8 or 9 hours. But wait a minute, that don't equal up to 24 hours. We got at least 4 hours missing. And what they don't never include is the morning and the evening. That those every after the sun set, it takes about 2 hours before it get completely dark. In the morning when the sun start to rise, it takes about 2 hours before the sun to actually come up, and that morning turns into afternoon and then the eve. Now, two things I want to point out about the evening. Notice in Genesis, it's spelled evening with a ing at the end. It was Evening. Now, there's two ways you can say evening. Without the ing is even. Uh, what you doing this evening? Is it even? But when you put the ing on it, it's evening. He said it was the evening in the morning, and that was the first day. Now, he wouldn't talk about a day as in sunlight day. He was talking about a day in a whole 24-hour period, if you want to say, or during a 24-hour period. So let's break this down because I really want to make this make sense. and I don't want to lose y'all because we got a lot of unlearning to do and relearning for certain things to make sense. So let's go with what we have been taught. We've been taught that the day a new day begin at 12 at night, uh, the morning comes, the afternoon comes, and the evening comes, and then it get dark, and it's the same day, and then at 12 o'clock, a new day come in the middle of the night. But the Most High set it up well. When the sun sets in the evening, a new day starts. And if you see this, like, let me just explain. So the sun sets. The sun is, and this red thing is the horizon. You know the when the sun sets behind it. So when the sun has set completely, not setting, because when the sun is setting, before I say that, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna just I'm gonna do that later. So when the sun has set, it's not setting, but it's sat. That means it goes behind this line. If you on the ocean, you can see the sun setting behind that line. And when the sun's set behind that line, it don't be completely dark outside. There'll still be, matter of fact, there'll be no stars in the sky, and you can still see a light blue sky. Now it's not bright. The sun is not out, but it's a, a I guess the only way you can explain it, light, uh, gloomy blue. You know, you can tell it's getting dark. And this is the evening period. It's about 2 hours, 2 hours and 30 minutes, depending on where you're at in the world, what season it is. And these are the different names from it. Now we know some of these names that know as twilight. You know, there's two twilights. There's the night twilight and there's the morning twilight. You see, just like these words are the same on both sides, but one is for the morning and one is for the night. And this is what some people like to call the transition period. And these 2 hours is transitioning into daylight to dark. So around summertime, let's say around summertime, uh, around 6:30, the sun sets, and it's not completely dark outside, but the sun then sat behind the horizon, and it's getting dark. And then 8 o'clock come 8 o'clock, and it's even much darker. And around by 8:45 maybe, that's when it's pitch dark, where you can start to see the stars out. That's when the street lights come on, and it's completely dark. Let's just say before the sunset, it was Sunday, and we just gonna use these days for now. But once that sunset, it's Monday, and it's not just Monday; it's Monday evening with an ing, and then we go from Monday evening to Monday night. We travel through the night until around, like I said, depending on what season we in, around 5:45, around 5 o'clock. The sun has not came up, but you starting to see the sky lighting up a little bit. It's a little light. It's still dark, but you don't see the stars out no more. The stars start going away, and the sky start lighting up. And this happened for about 2 hours or so. And this is what we call the morning period of the day, the early period of the morning, and or what we call early morning. So around 6, I don't know, 6:45, maybe the sun start to peak out a little bit, and around 7, the sun is not beaming high in the sky, but the sun is up peaking, and you can see it. And by the way, when the sun come up, this is what we call the first hour of the day. So the 7 o'clock is the first hour, and then you got 8 o'clock, which is the second hour. Now we still in the morning. If you ask people, they're like, oh, it's 8 in the morning, it's 7 in the morning, it's 9 in the morning. We still in the morning, and my bad. The third hour is 9 o'clock. Now I put this because it's important to know that, and I'm gonna bring up the scripture to prove it that third hour, 6 hour, 9 hours are per hour. Remember, Christ was uh, crucified, and he gave up the ghost in the night hour, which would be 3 o'clock. And he wanted to get his body down before the evening came. So to keep in mind, when the sun comes up, that's the first hour of the day. Of the day meaning the light day. When the sun come out, that's what we call day in the sense of daytime in the light. So then you got 10 o'clock in the morning, which is the fourth hour. The fifth hour is 11 in the morning. And around by in 11:30, 12, maybe 12:30, this is what we consider the afternoon. And we consider the afternoon because this is the period where the sun be directly in the sky. Around 11:30 to maybe 1:30, 1:45, depends on once again where you at and where the season at. The sun is the highest it's going to be in the sky, and we don't call it the morning anymore. We call it the afternoon or the noon time. This is mean the sun is at its peak in the sky, and during this time, this is the hottest time of the day, between uh 12 to uh 2 something. Is usually the hottest period of the day. So the sun, now we know the sun rise in the east and sets in the west. So the sun comes up in the east and it goes in the middle of the sky and it's afternoon. And then it starts going towards the west when it start to set. Now, about a more I will, I'm gonna bring up these definitions. But when it starts to set and it gets around maybe 4 o'clock, 3:45, once again depending on the season and where you at. This is when the sun starting to set. It's not sat, but it's setting. And this where I had to learn the difference between evening with the ing and just evening without the ing. Evening without the ing is when the sun is setting, it's going down. And evening is when the sun has gone down below the horizon where you can't see it, but it's still light out. So let's just say at 4, we tell the sun is starting to lean deep in the west, it's starting to set, it's setting. But the sun is still out, it's still bright. This is not the afternoon no more, it's the evening. Not evening, but evening. And then around 6, 6:15, 6:30, the sun sets behind the horizon. It's Tuesday. Okay, sorry about that. So once again, let's say the sun set and it was Monday in the afternoon, Monday afternoon, Monday night, Monday early in the morning, Monday morning, the morning afternoon, all the way here to morning, I mean Monday evening. Not evening, but evening. And then the sun start to set. It's setting around 6:15, 6:30, 6:45. The sun set behind the horizon. It has sight, but the sky is still blue. It's not completely dark, and it will be Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon. The afternoon starts a new day. Tuesday afternoon, and then it'll be Tuesday night, Tuesday early in the morning, Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, all the way for Tuesday evening. And then when the sun set, Wednesday evening. And that's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. And how we going to prove it? First, let's prove it there's 12 hours in a day. Because let's count it. If the day starts at 7, 1, 2, 3, the third hour, 4, 5, 6, the 6 hours. This is another prayer time. 7, 8, 9, the ninth hour, prayer. 10, 11, 12. So from the sunrise to the sunset, that's 12 hours in that day. This is John 11:9. And Yahshua answered said, are there not 12 hours in a day? Now we know he's not talking about a whole day, 24 period. He talking about just sunlight day. Are there not 12 hours in a day? And if any man walk in the day, he stumble not, but he that sees the light, but he see the light of this world. So we got Christ confirming that there's 12 hours in a day. So this is adding up with the chart. 12 hours in a day. Now what the world don't tell you is, because the world just tell you, oh, we got day and night. And the evening goes with the night, and the morning goes with the day. To an extent, but really the evening and early mornings, uh, even though it, how can I put it, goes in the is a part of the 24-hour whole day period. It's its own separate thing, just like day and night is its own separate thing. Morning and evening are its own separate periods of time that still accounts for night. When it starts at evening, that evening all the way into night still count during the night period. In the morning, for when the sun start to rise but hadn't come up, that counts in that morning period during the day. So from here to here is considered day or during the daytime. From here to here is considered during nighttime. The evening goes into the night, the morning goes into the day. Now, once again, this is summer, so we know that the days are shorter and the days are longer and the nights are shorter. Now, I pull up the scriptures that got evening in it to let the scripture prove for itself that evening is not counting during the daytime, which is, we say noon and afternoon, but all that can be the morning time, the daytime during the morning, depending on how you look of it. But these scriptures shows that the evening is not part of the day, but is when the day ends. We got second, I can never say this word, Chronicles. It says, and they burnt to Yahweh every morning and every evening. So when the sun start to rise, they burnt to him, and when the sun start to set behind the rising, they burnt sacrifice to him. Matthew 6:2. And he answered and said to them, when it is evening, meaning when the sun start to set behind the horizon, when the sun has set behind the horizon, you say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. So he said when the next day begin, when the sun has set, and it's that gloomy kind of redness out there, we know that it's gonna be good weather when the sun rises. Mark 7:14-17. And in the evening he came with the 12. Psalms 104:23. Man goes forth to his work and he labor until the evening. So until the sun starts to, when the sun is set, even though he stop working, that's his clue. The day is over with. Job, they are destroyed from morning to evening, meaning the whole day. From when the sun rises, from when the sun start to set, they are destroyed. Uh, they are perished without any regrets. Okay. Psalms 59:6. They return at evening. They made a noise like a dog and go around about the city. Why do they return at evening? Because the day has been spent. The day is over. It's time to lay it down. Psalms 141:2. Let my prayer be set before these as incense, and the lifting up my hands as the evening sacrifice. So once again, he confirming that the sacrifice is done in the evening when the sun has set, but it's not completely dark. And it says the Philistines draw near morning and evening. So don't you see the pattern how it's concluding the morning and the evening? Because usually at night everybody sleep, there's no work, And then in the morning, people start to rise, and they do their business all the way until the next day when the sun start to set, and that's when the next day begin. The next day begin with the evening, the night, and most people, I think, where they get confused because people don't start their day in the evening. No, even though it's a new day, people get ready to lay down when the day begin. Cause we got in our mind when the day begin, we ready to get up. It's the morning, but no, when the day has begun, this is when we laying it down. This is when the dark come. Remember in the beginning, it was dark and void. It was darkness before there was light. So yes, when the day began in the evening, we start laying it down, and then when the night, the let's just say Wednesday night, Wednesday evening, let's just say it was Tuesday, and then the evening came. It was Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, and then Wednesday morning we start the quote unquote day, which is the first hour of the day or the daytime. Proverbs 7:9. In the twilight and in the evening, in the dark and in the black and in the dark night. So once again, it's describing that the evening is when it's dark, when it's getting night outside. Psalms 55:17. I ain't gonna do too many more of them. But evening, in the morning, and at noon. So it named the morning, the noon, afternoon, and the evening. It said, I will pray and cry out loud, and he shall hear my voice. Now remember, we said that what are the three prayer hours? In the morning at 9, that's the third hour. In the evening at 12, the sixth hour. And then in the afternoon at 3, the ninth hour. So he's just confirming that, hey, at evening, when the sun go down, at nighttime, before I go to bed, I say my prayer. When I wake up in the morning, I say my prayer. In the afternoon, I say my prayer. Let me go down a little bit. Kind of skip some of these. So Luke 24:29. But they constrain him, constraining him, saying, Abound with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is far spent. And he went in to tarry with them. So basically, they saying, hey, it didn't say it was evening. It said it's towards evening. I mean, it's getting ready for the sun to set. And when the sun set, it's another day, and it's evening. It says getting towards that, and the day has spent. So it lets you know that the evening is not that day. It's another day. Because if it's getting towards the evening and the day is far spent, meaning that day is about to be over, then when evening get here, what do that mean? That means it's night of that day. Yeah, but it's a whole nother day. Let's see, how about Jeremiah? Let's do two more. Jeremiah 6:4. Prepare you war against her. Arise, and let us go up at noon. Woe to us, for the day goes away. So the day is gone, and what? For the shadows of the evening is stretched out. So he's saying the day is gone away and the evening has came, and because the sun has set, the shadow is coming out. Uh, Daniel, he said, while I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I have seen in my vision at the beginning causing being caused to fly swiftly touch me at the time of what? The time of evening of oblation, ob- oblation. Now that can be sacrifice or prayer, because we know uh, during the evening there's a sacrifice, and we also know David prayed 3 times a day. Oh, Genesis 1:23, we familiar with this one. In the evening, in the morning, were the fifth day. So when we understand this, we can understand when the feast days start and how it works. This is Exodus chapter 12, and I'm gonna just start at verse 14. It said, "This day shall be to you a marvel or a memory or marvel, and you shall keep it a feast or appointed time to Yahweh throughout your generation. You should keep a feast by a ordinance forever." Hear that? Forever. Forever, ever, and ever, ever. 15. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread. Even the first day shall you put away leaven out of your house. For whoever eat leavened bread from the first day until the seventh day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. Now, cut off can mean that you can be banned. You can't hang with us no more. You know, can't kick it. But nevertheless, 16 says, and in the first day they're ostracized. That's the name I was looking for. Be ostracized from the community. But it says, in the first day there shall be a holy conversation, a convocation, meaning gathering, get together, fellowship. In the seventh day there shall be a holy conversation. To you, no manner of work shall be done in them, except that which man may eat, and only may be done of you. 17. And you shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in the self same day I have brought your army out of Egypt. So we was brought out of Egypt on the day of unleavened bread. Not after it, not before it, on that day. Therefore you shall observe this day in your generation, by ordinance once again forever. 18. In the first month of the 14th day of the month at evening. Now, this is where you get into errors or mistakes, because they wrote down evening, but what they really mean was evening. And we know because when we look up that definition, if you look down here, it gives you the evening with the ing, and it even says night, and it says sunset. When you look at the word evening with that ing, it says sun setting, and it doesn't say anything about night. But this confirms that it's talking about the ing, and this the same word, uh, Arab, Arab, that when you look in Genesis, it's the same word Arab, and you see it means sunset. So the sun has sat, evening, night, and that's why it's important to be in the spirit, to really study to show ourselves approved, so we can have an eye, a spiritual eye, to see these things and don't be thrown off by it. So the 14th day at even, you should eat unleavened bread until the 20 until the 1 and 20th day of the month at evening. So If we came out of Egypt the same day as the Passover, let's see, when did we come out of Egypt? So once again, we in Exodus 12, and we jump down to, let's start at 29. And it came to pass that at midnight Yahweh smacked all the firstborn of the land of the Egyptians, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne to the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle, 30. And Pharaoh rose up in the night. Remember, this the same day as the unleavened bread. This is the 14th day that at evening. It says, and he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a very great cry in Egypt, and there was not a house that there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night. This is doing by night, and said, rise up and get forth from amongst my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go and serve Yahweh as you have said. So this is very accurate because let's just say it was the 12th day of the month. The sun set, it's the 13th day of the month. The 13th night, the 13th morning, early morning, 13th morning, 13th afternoon, 13th evening, and then the sun set, and it's the 14th of the evening, the 14th month of the evening, the 14th day of the month, the first day, the first month, and the 14th day. So now, when the sun has set, it's evening, and this is when the Passover begins. It's the sun has set, but we still got light outside. We got about 2 hours and some change to get everything right, and then during the night, the same day of the 14th day, they had all their clothes on in the house eating with their staff, eating unleavened bread, lamb with hers. Can you picture that? That people, babies are dying, and these people are in the middle of the night having a feast, dressed up, eating lamb and unleavened bread, considering all things. That's why when you serve the Most High, He tell you to do something. It may be a little strange and crazy looking on the outside, but there's a purpose behind it. And because they were doing this strange thing, who eat have a feast in the middle of the night with all their clothes on and they staff eating this type of meal while hell is taking place outside? Pharaoh said, "Man, y'all people gotta go." So guess what? The same day when they pack up that night and went to walking, when the sun rise, it was still the 14th of that day, and they were still eating unleavened bread. That's why the scripture says uh, that by morning time, when it comes to the lamb, if you hadn't ate anything by it, that when the morning comes, so they was able to eat all night, but when the morning came, if anything was left over, they burnt it. So they couldn't eat no more lamb. But during the daytime, they ate unleavened bread all during the daylight time. Unleavened bread, the 14th day. And then when the sun set, I mean, that was Passover, yeah. Then when the sun set, they continue with unleavened bread. So Passover, my bad, I keep saying unleavened bread and Passover is one feast. So When the sun set, there was Passover at even 14 at even was Passover on the 14th. Passover through the night. When the morning came, they couldn't eat no more of that Passover meat, but they still was able to eat the unleavened bread. And the 14th day all the way over to when the sun set again, the 15th day in evening was unleavened bread. And now they had to eat that for 7 days. That's why, uh, yeah, that's why if you count Passover, including the 7 days uneaten, eating unleavened bread, it don't add up 27 days. But when you don't count the Passover, but you count the 15th as the day you start eating just unleavened bread, because on the Passover you didn't just eat unleavened bread, you ate a lamb with the unleavened bread. Now some people believe that you can eat whatever you want as long as you got unleavened bread with it and you don't eat leavened bread. Uh, it's called the bled of affliction. Me personally, I believe you don't eat nothing but unleavened bread uh, for 7 days. So 14th day at night, you ate the lamb and bread. When the morning come, you get rid of the meat and you just eat the bread. And when even came, the 15th day, 15th at evening, was the unleavened bread began. Then for 7 days after that, you just eat unleavened bread completely day and night. Now, you also know it says that no man works at night. So during the evening and nighttime, even though it's a new day, usually people are not working. And usually how I do it was when the sun set and the Sabbath come in, it's the Sabbath night. It's not the Sabbath day. So I don't keep the night, me period, as I know it's a holy set apart day. But I even use like the Sabbath night to kind of prepare myself for the next day because nobody is working at night. Usually people are, sleep at night, keeping the night holy. Even though it's the whole 7 day, 24/7 period. Uh, I kind of use when the sun start to rise. That's when the Sabbath officially began to me. During the daytime when men start to work, where you start to do your activities and all that, that's when okay, this is the Sabbath day. Cause this is how I think. He didn't say the Sabbath day and night. He just said the Sabbath day. But then the question is, he talking about the 24-hour period day or the 12-hour period day? And you just heard Christ say uh, there's 6 hours in a day. So if it's a Sabbath day, are we including the night in that, or are we just including the day, or are we concluding the whole 24-hour period as the Sabbath and keeping it holy, or are we just keeping the 12 hours daytime as the Sabbath? That's up for you to decide. I keep it as a set apart night, but I don't be like, oh, I can't do nothing at all or do nothing. I kind of use that as preparation on until the morning when the morning come. And I got Bible scriptures for that, but not on this video. But I give you a hint where to get it from. When Christ was buried, and it said Mary uh, during the eventide, you know, uh, was preparing. It did say even was preparing before the Sabbath, and we know when the evening came, it was the Sabbath. But it says she was preparing for the Sabbath day, which she was preparing herself for when the night come and the day rise. For she won't have to do that during the 24-hour period. But hopefully, most I will. We'll get a little bit deeper into that later on. If y'all interested into me bringing it out, comment below. And while I'm on here, I'm gonna show you how Christ rose on the third day. It didn't say after the third day. It said on the third day. It didn't say day and night. It says day. So on the third day, meaning he stayed 2 days in the grave, and on the third day he woke up from the grave. Now he didn't stay 3 completely days in the grave, and this is very possible when you go by the Most High clock and timeline. If you go by daytime line and him being completely 3 days in the grave, it just ain't gonna add up. They'll say it with confidence and be, oh, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and all that, but it don't add up at all. No matter how many, if you put it Friday or Saturday or what order you put the days, it just don't add up. And the most I want me to do another video, where he showed me how I believe how the Sabbath work and everything working when he was rose. Uh, I will, but I'll give y'all a little debrief since the video is already went a little longer than I intended. So we know Christ, during the third hour, I guess he was being prosecuted or whatever. During the 6 hours, we know he was hanging on the cross. Uh, During the ninth hour, that's when he gave up the ghost and the earth shook and there was a eclipse and all that. So he died the ninth hour, roughly around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And after that, it was going to be evening. You had like 3 hours left. So they said, hey, let's bury him before the sun uh, go down, because even in the Torah, it's against the law to keep somebody hanging until nighttime. Uh, and of course, the Sabbath was the next day, which is the high Sabbath, because the Sabbath fell on the day of unleavened bread. So Passover. So Christ spent Passover, and we know it was even when he spent Passover, because after they ate and they went to the garden, whatever that was, we know it was nighttime. So when they ate the Passover, it was in the evening. The day just has begun. A new day has begun, and that was the day of the Passover. It has begun, and on the beginning of the Passover at evening, they ate the Passover during the nighttime. They came out, hanging out, singing songs. His disciples went to sleep. Judas betrayed him. They came and got him. Peter followed. Early in the morning came. Early in the morning, they started ruling on his case. This is all during the Passover. He's our Passover lamb. He got killed and slaughtered on Passover as our Passover lamb. Died on Passover day. Got buried before the sun went completely down, which started the second day. So there's already 2 days here in the grave. As soon as the sun went down, well, he was in the grave before the sun went down, and then after the sun went down, it didn't say he'll be in the a whole 24 hours of the whole day. It just said 3 days. So before the sun went down on that day, he was buried on Pass. He was killed and buried on Passover day. The sun went down the second day, and it was a high day. It was a Sabbath. So he was in the grave during the Sabbath resting, during the first day of unleavened bread. The unleavened bread day passed. This is the second day. The sun set, boom, third day. Early that morning on the third day, so he spent that night, third day, all through, and during the morning, early in the morning, when the women came to visit him, before the sun even got up, during the day, during that night, that third day, he had risen. And this was, what, the second day of unleavened bread he risen? So, killed, buried on Passover, one day, buried night and day through the grave on the first day of unleavened bread. The second day, night came, third day. By the third day during the morning, he had risen on that third day. So, yeah, but as always, let Yah be true and every man a lie. Until next time, Shalom.